All right, so day one, coming down to the Virginia Beach bins first. This was out. I did some sourcing, got some good stuff, some stuff I still need to scan. I'm actually still looking, and as I'm looking, I realize, I don't know if you can see back there, but they are going to be bringing out books. So this is the point. This is exactly my point, is that they're able to do this. They're able to have books out and then bring new books out. They don't have to take the bins back before they bring new books. They just bring them out. They have bins. They have these blue bins. This is what the one in my location doesn't have enough of, they say. So, yeah. So far, so good. Really happy I came down here and be trying to implement this moving forward. Nothing crazy, but definitely some decent stuff, and we'll see what they bring out. Okay, so I may or may not have found some books. What you're seeing here is a lot of these books with these little receipts. This represents that e-commerce side of Goodwill's business. So I dug through. There's still some stuff I'm going to go back and through. I know there's stuff I missed, but I filled up my cart as much as I could. I've got a second cart here. I'm going to start scanning, and essentially what I'm doing with a lot of the textbooks is just using that Book Scouter app that I've talked about in the past, just scanning to see if there's a neat value to sell back, right? And then I've just got other stuff I need to actually organize. So I'm going to go ahead and organize this. I already scanned one book, and there was a $40 buyback. So I'm pretty optimistic that this is going to be a lot of money right here. Very, very exciting stuff. And then I'm going to actually go back through and scan some more stuff that I know that I passed over. Oh my goodness. All right. I just finished scanning. So this is all kind of normal stuff. This is all mostly textbooks. And when I say there is a minimum of $1,000 in immediate value in this cart, I am not exaggerating. Most of these books are $30, $40, and $50 instant sellback books. I will definitely be looking at some of these for eBay, because if I can squeeze a little bit more money out of them, I will. This is a perfect example as to why I should be doing Amazon, because ultimately sending all of these into Amazon, especially going through a prep center where they can validate the authenticity of the textbooks and then send them into Amazon for me, I would make probably so much money off of this cart. But nonetheless, instant value without having to do all the listing and prepping and all that stuff, really, really good. I'm talking a minimum of $1,000, minimum. Now I'm going to go back through because I know that there's a ton that I left behind, and since I scanned so many of these with such high value, I've got to do another flip through. But wow, what an incredible first day coming up here. This was all of the energy I needed. This is so exciting, so exhilarating. It's not going to be like this all the time, but very exciting stuff. I'm officially done. Another few $100s for sure popped in there. I can't wait to get home and actually get a hard number on this, but very, very great haul. Now I've got to go check out. All right, just got back to the office, and what I did was brought in 2 bags of the scanning books, the textbooks. Essentially they're all textbooks, really. I didn't want to carry them all in because I just had to carry them all from the store, and they're heavy. Books are so heavy, guys. But I'm going to start going through these 2 bags, and I'm going to start comping them out on eBay. I'm going to do a rapid fire. You kind of saw it in the last video, basically going to eBay, scanning, and then just really quickly listed, sold. I want to see how many are listed, how many are sold. If the sell-through is 100%, I'll probably list it on eBay. If the sell-through is not, if it's for example, when I say the sell-through, for those of you guys that may not know this with comping on eBay, easy example. Let's say that there are 10 items listed that match that exact item, and there are 10 items sold. That would be 100% sell-through. If there was 10 items listed and 15 items sold, that's 150% sell-through. So that means you're gonna list the item and it's probably gonna sell. When there's a lot more sold than there are listed, obviously supply and demand comes into effect. And then inversely, let's say there is 10 listed and only 5 have sold. That's only a 50% sell-through. So there's a 50% chance, a 50% rate of selling that item on any given day that you may sell the item. Maybe you're the lowest. Maybe you have a good rating. Maybe you offer free returns or free shipping, whatever it may be that kind of makes you different than the other people having that item listed. Yours might get purchased, but the sell-through isn't that high. 50% is not that high. It's good. It's a great benchmark. I would say 50% and up is a great way to list. However, for these, because I want the instant and not having to list and deal with all of the whole customer service side of things, I'm going to go for the buyback service unless the comp is over 100% listed or over 100% sell-through. All right, so start scanning through those. Try to get through this first bag or two, see how long that takes me. All right, pretty solid first go through. These are the ones I'm going to keep to the side for eBay. I think that all 5 of these have really good sell-throughs. One of them, it was, I believe this one, this blue one, I think it was this blue one, had 117 listed, 117 sold. So kind of crazy, definitely a good find there. And then I have my 3 different buyback services. This is going to be Books to Cash, Books Run, and then World of Books. And then these I have to the side because I think I had picked up some duplicates of these. Not all services will take duplicates, and sometimes they only want 1 or 2 duplicates. They don't want 4 duplicates. Not that I have that many, but I think I had duplicates of some of these. So I'm waiting till I go through everything to know if it's worth it for me to send in. If I need to send, 1 to Books Run, or Books Run, 1 to World of Books, like I could do 1 to each, or if they're going to get listed. So that was 2 bags down. Took maybe 15 minutes-ish. So really fast. I'm going to go ahead and go grab some more. All right, I am officially done. I think that took a lot less time than I had anticipated. It was maybe like an hour and a half at the most. It was a lot of decision making. I did do a lot of comping, and I will say out of all the comping, these were the ones that I think should be listed on eBay. I think that the sell-through is either 100% or higher. Some of them maybe had like 90% sell-through, but the value for what the buyback was giving me versus eBay was higher. I have a couple things that I have duplicates of. So this one, and this one are all 2 copies of the same book. So that's always a fun quantity listing. And then I have all of my books here. You can see which companies buying the most. This is Books to Cash. These 3 stacks here are going to be the Books Run piles. You can see there's 3 stacks. And then this is World of Books. World of Books has typically bought the majority of the books that I sell. However, Books Run lately has been offering just a little bit more. Sometimes it's a couple cents, sometimes it's $1 or $2, but World of Books has the least in this stack here. So overall, really, really happy with that. I haven't scanned everything, so I'm going to be doing that here next, and I'll let you guys know what each company is going to pay me for these stacks of books. I am so excited to see this total. These will be some of the highest trade-ins I've ever sent in, so I'm really, really excited about that. And then all I got to do is just get all those listed, and I will let you guys know what the final value is of all of these after I get them listed. Obviously, I'll be selling them probably sporadically, but being that they have such high sell-throughs, they should be selling pretty quickly after I list them. But yeah, I'll let you guys know like the total listed value of those. And then I do still have some books that I got. Like, it was still good sourcing, so I got some pretty good stuff. I'm really happy. So day 1 of like pivoting was definitely a success. I will be continuing to make it a priority to just go down there first. I don't know if I mentioned this, I think it was in the video earlier, but there were books out when I got there, and then within like 30-45 minutes they were changing out the books, and that's pretty normal for them. So to be able to go down, maybe not every single day, but go down, see the books that were left over from the day before, pick through those, and then within like an hour or so have more books coming out, that's a really great method for me. So very, very happy with that. Can't wait to keep utilizing that bins location. And obviously this is not going to be like this every day. If I could just do this every day, go to the bins and pull out $1,000 worth of inventory, that would be incredible. Like, this would be an ideal business setup. I wouldn't even do live shows. I would have no need to. This would be literally money that is just the easiest to make. I would come home, I would do all these listings, I would pack all these up and ship them off to the sellbacks. It would be perfect. But that is not how it typically is. These were definitely, it was a right time, right place, luck of the draw type situation. So nonetheless, if you don't use buyback services, this is why I encourage you to download Book Scouter and just scan some stuff. Sometimes you never know what something's going to be worth. Some of these books are super obscure looking, and I would, a lot of the books actually that were the highest value were like some of the more obscure looking ones. I will say my best find is going to be something that's going to be going on eBay, and I think I can list it for over $100 for one single item. That was my best find. There was a couple others in there that I'll probably get 70, 80, 90 for, and then there was actually one book in the buyback that didn't sell well enough on eBay that it is better to send to buyback, and it was $74, I believe. So that was probably my highest sellback out of all of these, was $74. And then the rest were anywhere from, some of these books, there was maybe like 15 of these books are less than $10. Everything else is like $30, $40, $50. So So excited to see the total on those. I also just wanted to show you guys the total on that. So it ended up being $82. And that was with a couple items on the scale. And then, of course, I did buy some books, like I said, that weren't for me. It was this bag, or weren't for the buyback. Sorry. It was this bag here, that little stack there, and then these 2 bags. This bag was from the DAV, but these 3 bags. So it was a good bit from like that wasn't included in this. I'll also do a count and I'll let you guys know the actual cost of goods for these. Reminder, paperback books are only 25 cents. Hardcovers are 50 cents, and vast majority of these are paperbacks. I would say all of this, if I had to guesstimate, it was like maybe $50. What did I spend? 82. Yeah, maybe like $40, $50 or so on all of that. So we will, but I'll let you guys know what the cost of goods was. Happy Saturday to you guys. Just popping in because I wanted to show you that I did go down to Virginia Beach again and grabbed some decent stuff. A lot of kids things, but some decent stuff overall. And then just went over here to the DAV and grabbed some more, like more adult stuff, which is really what I'm needing the most of right now. So that was exciting. Got a little Frida McFadden, some book of the month. So that was a nice little haul. Again, their pricing on these are crazy. You know, they're $3 for book of the month, $3 for higher end books. They kind of know roughly what they have, but cherry picking is still a huge part of my business right now. And so I'm doing what I can, but nice little book selection for tonight's show, on top of what I've already sourced this week. So fingers crossed this show goes well. I'll check in with you guys and let you know like how it goes. It's a Saturday show. It should be, you know, a good show, but we will see. All right, so I did stop by the Hampton bins just because I wanted to see, and got actually some pretty solid stuff, some cute little like picture style books, some good JD Robb, some other thrillers and stuff. So definitely worth the stop. All right, I am screen recording here because I just wanted to show you guys what I ended up pulling here for our first trade back. You can see at the top of the screen, $134.94 on 12 items. It was these larger textbooks here, these ones as well, and these. So 12 items here. These were the ones that weren't accepted. This one says they don't accept this book, so I'll check for books run on that one. This one as well says I've already sent in a copy and I'm not able to send in another one. And then I sent in 1 copy of this one. Again, I had 3 copies of those, so I'll see which other 2 platforms those can sell on. But $134. And then what's cool is I wanted to show you guys that this is World of Books, by the way. World of Books, formerly Sell Back Your Book, World of Books here. I want to show you guys the promo code. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here to my cart. And again, you can see everything that was here. You can see some of the values for these items. I think our best one was maybe this data structures for $33. Pretty cool. I'm going to click apply promo code, and currently they have this promo for an extra 15% towards your value. So now that bumped us up to $155 that we're going to be able to get right off of just this one book order of 12 items. Very exciting. So I'll go ahead and show you guys kind of what it looks like. Oh, it even says it here, $20 extra for that. Very cool. So we'll do the complete trade here, and then we'll do a PayPal, and I'll put in my PayPal information, and then I will get a label for these, box them up, and get them all sent out. So I just wanted to pop in real quick because I went to scan the books to cash books because that was a smaller pile, and every single book was like 0, 0, 0, 0. So I was like, what's going on? So I force closed the app, I cleared my cache, kind of like thought maybe that'll help because sometimes that happens, and it just kept saying 0, 0, 0. So I was like, went back to Book Scouter and started scanning, and it was popping up still. Now, the moral to the story here is that sometimes when you're doing a big scanning cycle like this with the sellback services, you really want to sell the books back the day that you are scanning them. So yesterday I scanned them, you guys saw that, but then today, the next day, I'm coming in and actually scanning them into the software. I was just using Book Scouter yesterday. Today I'm actually going into the 3 different softwares and scanning them, right? I noticed it with the World of Books. There was like a couple books, like I said, that didn't end up being accepted, and that's fine. But to go through all of those and not get accepted, I was like, that's so weird. So Book Scouter told me, the Books Run was still accepting them. And then there were 3 books that actually sell better on World of Books. I still need to scan them and see if they're actually being accepted. But there were multiple books that we're scanning for books to cash and we're telling me books run was the higher value payout. So a little bit of a bummer because this was, I think, like another like $60 or something. So I could have included that in my buyback, but nonetheless, I'm going to show you guys what I did here. These were the 4 books that were for books to cash that do not register on Books Run as being valuable. So out of all of that, we might have 4 that were like duds, not being accepted, whatever. But we have all of this for Books Run. So fingers crossed it's accepted. Now, on the inverse downside of like not selling back the books the same day that you initially scan them for their value is that sometimes the value goes up, and that happens a lot. There are a lot of times I'll scan a book and I'm like, this was like a $25 book. Why is it scanning for $40? It happens a lot. And then there's inverses, right? This was a $50 book and it's only scanning for $22. And it's like, damn, that was a loss because I didn't sell it back immediately. With that said, I am so anxious to see what this total is about to be. You guys just saw the total for World of Books. We're not going to have a books to cash order right now, I guess. So it's just going to be the two platforms, but I have a pending Books Run order. So I'm going to go ahead and process that real quick, and then I'll get to scanning these and I will screen share and show you guys what that buyback total is looking like. All right. So I've scanned majority of these. You can see that total right up there at the top. We're looking at $1,148. I've got a few more to scan here. I just wanted to kind of show you guys again just what the interface on this looks like and kind of how easy it is. And one of the things that I did go through and do is any of the books that were, you know, maybe not in like the best condition, I would go in and change it to acceptable versus very good. And then there was also that was a good one, $50. There's also a few that I went in and switched from very good to like new because they were just in like new condition, and I wanted the total to reflect that. And the last one here. Boom. All right. So that is everything scanned. It was 88 items, which is wild. I will say I did look because I was curious how Books Run will auto calculate the 40-pound mark, and they'll actually send you out your labels depending on what they deem how many boxes you need to break it up into. But you guys can see here most everything's going to default to very good. There's a few that'll say acceptable or like new, but most everything I'm defaulting to very good. And here were some of the totals paid out, just some really good ones. I think that $48.99 one might have been actually our best single item. There's one for $39. That was probably the second highest. And then lots of 30s. So, I mean, that's insane. 88 items. And I'll do the cost of goods on this here in just a second for you guys. But $1,226 for 88 items. I will say that was definitely a win. I just did the cost of goods on all of this. Again, paperbacks being 25 cents, hardbacks being 50 cents. It was $28 on the dot. So $28 into $1,200. Insane. These 3 books for World of Books were $67 for the 3. I'm not going to process that order, but they are scanned in, so the value should hold. So some of the duplicates were taken by Books Run, which was great. Books Run did end up taking those dupes, and then there ended up being 5 books in total that were no value, and this is $1.25. $1.25 that I spent on these. So not too pressed on that. And then last but not least, just again mentioning that we have all of this. So I will do the math and pop the total up here. This is what we've potentially earned so far, again, given that they don't have any issues or qualms with the books. And then I have all of this to list, which is well over another $500, $600, $700 as well. So that'll be great. The show is over. I don't know if I showed you guys what it looked like when it was all set up, but this is all that was left. And this is probably a fourth-ish of all the inventory. So 3/4 of what I brought out sold. Very excited about that. And also still some good books left over that I still think are going to sell at some point. This is everything that sold bundle wise. And then these are some auctions over here. So these are auctions. And then all of these are bundles. You can see we have a pretty large bundle right there and right here, and maybe right there and right there. Everything else is medium sized, and then I've got a couple of good kind of flat, smaller packages. A few things were bought from the Buy It Now as well, which was great. This ended up being $977 after coupon spend. I'll show that there. Got a $10 tip. I got two $5 tips, and then, like I said, $68 in that coupon spend. So that's people using the rewards club. So yeah, super exciting, good stuff. Very happy about that. So basically my thought on that is that was a great Saturday show. I definitely feel like that gave me a little bit of energy. That gave me a little bit of a burst of, hey, Whatnot, is still there. Let's make sure we're balancing both. And so I'm excited. I will still be focusing on eBay and buybacks and still trying to do the free pickups and Facebook type stuff. And then Whatnot obviously is going to be a priority because I do the show twice a week. However, I am not going to be reliant on this. Like, I want this is still going to be my primary income. That's just not going to change. However, I want to not be reliant on it. Like I said, if I can be, I don't remember what the percentage was that I said, but if I could be closer to 50-50, or maybe if I could be closer to 50-50, I would be happy. If I could ultimately have my Whatnot income be closer to like 40% of my income, I would not only financially be hitting goals that I would love to hit, but I would be in a position where I think I would feel a lot more secure and stable within my business. So that's the goal right now. We're mitigating that. We're learning. We're diving into the other worlds and other platforms, but that was still a great show. Very exciting stuff. So these are the 3 orders all packed up. Both of these are going to World of Books, and then this is the Books Run order here. So all set. They are heavy, crazy heavy, but nothing compared to what all of that is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and be packing up the orders from Thursday's show, and yeah, then I'll be getting Saturday's stuff packed up, and that'll be pretty much the end of our week. It is Sunday today when you're seeing this, so it's kind of end of my week. Okay. It is Tuesday morning back at the Goodwill. All right, so Goodwill was actually a success. That was pretty exciting. I just grabbed a good 2 bags, bag and a half overall full of books. So very happy with that. And now I'm on my way to go do that free book pickup. That is going to be at the College of William and Mary. It is their ROTC program. And so it's supposed to be a lot of war, military, political type stuff from what I understand. And apparently it's 5 boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and start grabbing that, it's about 35 minutes away for that pickup, and yeah, of course, share with you guys what I end up snagging from there. So this is the actual campus of William & Mary. It is insanely massive, gorgeous, beautiful, mostly all brick, just incredible campus. You can kind of see all down here, but we're gonna actually be going up a little bit more. So we've got box here, box there. She said there is definitely some leadership style books as well. And then, yeah, war. She's like, it's definitely a hodgepodge, but these 2, that, and then those 2 large boxes. Alright guys, I think that is going to be a wrap on this video. I have been just kind of recording throughout the week, and I'm going to hope and assume that turned into a whole video for you guys to watch. But I just wanted to do a little recap from how I'm feeling and an update and check in with you guys. So obviously very good first kind of day going down to Virginia Beach, getting all of those textbooks. That was an incredible profit, and just super excited about that. I haven't listed anything. You can see everything for the textbooks. It's still stacked back there because I did end up having, my Whatnot shows, and I was focused on sourcing for that and making sure that I was trying to still put that effort into Whatnot, because I'm not trying to take away from Whatnot. I mean, in a way I am
trying to give more to other platforms, but not from taking away from one, if that makes sense. I want to just diversify my attention towards the platforms I am focusing on a little bit more evenly, as opposed to focusing on one so much more than the other, if that kind of makes sense. So I was really happy with that haul. That definitely was a great boost to not just my cash flow, but my, like, I guess my mentality and my plan, my mindset on how all this is going to go down. It's just that really friendly reminder of, like, make sure you're scanning books, throw books in the cart, which I've always done. It's never something I, like, stopped doing, but it's just like a reminder of this is why you do it. And because even still, I'll throw books in the cart and I'll scan them, and some of them will be worth a couple bucks, but every now and again, you know, I'll find a book that's worth $5, $6, $7, $10, $15 really randomly. And I do find textbooks from time to time. That's how I had all those orders that I needed to process before I started processing the big sellback orders. Was I have books I've picked up. There was an order that only had, I think it had like 12 items on it, but it was like an $80 or $90 order. So there was a book or two in there that was like $30. So just keep an eye out for those. It's just a good, like, lesson learned for sure. I will update you guys when I get those items listed on eBay and share with you maybe what the total listed value of those are. And then as I'm continuing through this process of, like, sharing kind of what I'm doing and how it's going behind the scenes in real time, I will let you guys know when some of those sell, just to kind of just keep you updated a little bit more. But we obviously made our entire investment back. What did I say? It was like $80 or $60 or however much it cost for all those books. So definitely a great way to make some money and bring some cash into the business. As far as eBay, I think since I made this video, I'll see when I'm editing what I've sold or what I've shown you that I've sold. I'll insert here anything that I've sold since, just to kind of give you guys an update. But eBay's doing well. I think, you know, again, not listing. I'm looking at my listing over here, and I've listed 15, 25, 28 items so far this month, and that's not very many. So I need to list more than that. So I will do a big listing thing on... it'll probably be next week that I actually list, which is a shame. It's not my ideal goal, but I have other things that I'm doing and other things I'm focusing on. For example, on Friday, we're going to go back to the Goodwill outlet bins and do a live whatnot show from there. If you've never seen that, you can go to, actually, I don't have them on my channel anymore. Well, basically what I do is I go live from the Goodwill bins. I place the camera facing down at the bins, and I flip through the books one at a time and take requests. It's a whole thing, and it's a lot of fun. And those shows always do really well for me. So I figured that would be another really good way to just inject cash flow into my business without having to be so reliant on the sourcing. Unfortunately, since sourcing is, you know, it's decent, but it's not super great, I don't want to be so reliant on having these big Tuesday and Saturday shows. I want to really have just stronger single shows here and there, and doing the eBay thing, and then just being okay with whatever comes through whatnot on Tuesdays and Saturdays. That's kind of the mentality I'm taking on it. So doing something like a binge show or a specialty type show, especially as I'm still continuing to go through all of this over here, which is another thing that I've put a little bit of a halt on, just because I can't process it all, guys. I can't literally process every single box that comes in so quickly. So out of the 5 boxes I got from that pickup in Williamsburg that you guys just saw, I haven't done those yet. Those will just go into the office. I'm actually going to be unloading those from my car in a minute. But I'm really hopeful that those books are good. There's some really good gems in there. And I think there will be. And worst case scenario, I'll do a show and it'll all be like military type stuff. Or it goes to my book sale. It all comes back regardless. Just to backtrack a second on the sourcing side of things, since I did do that first day in Virginia Beach, I have gone down maybe 2 or 3 more days again since in this video time frame, and it was like good, you know, nothing crazy, but it was good, and I'm still happy with the process of it. But I will say that there have been 2 days in a row at my local bins that because I also go there after, they're really good, and I'm like, oh, this is what I'm getting in the after. I don't know how long these books have been out, or, you know, what the case is. However, it is definitely, it's exciting. I basically feel like I'm just getting this blend of books from both stores, free pickups, cherry picking, and I'm liking it. It's fun. So I'm not having like terrible time. If I'll pin up some videos here, I think there's like a couple I can pin up. If you guys haven't watched these, this is just back to why this is such a series for me right now and such a prominent part of my YouTube channel, because I have these videos about Goodwill's ruining my life. I think I pinned them in the last video, but I'm gonna pin them again here in case you didn't watch them or you didn't see the last video. I've been in the pivoting business with bookselling on Whatnot and just bookselling in general in my area. Our main sources to get books, which is our local Goodwill outlets. Like our local Goodwill stores don't put books out enough that I could run a business off of, and our local other thrift stores aren't going to be putting enough out for me to run an entire business off of. I need the outlets. I need that in order to do it, or I would have to buy pallets in order to do what I do, to have this type of inventory system. So basically, they were not putting books out for 2 summers in a row. We had a whole book shortage thing. It was a whole story. You can watch the videos if you want to find out, but I'm used to this. And so the reason why I'm kind of focusing on this now with you guys is because I'm like, okay, this is real life. This is how it goes. Let's talk about it. Let's see like how I'm working through it. This is also a time capsule for me as a human person and a business owner. I want to be able to look back and see how I've grown. And so documenting this type of stuff is really fun for me. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. That's the point of what I'm trying to say, and that you guys are liking kind of more of this vlog check-in business update, what's going on type thing, and how I'm making it work still, even though it's not all working 100% on its own. Because ultimately, you know, the point of my business, for those of you guys that don't know, is to scale. I've got 5 to 10 years that I want to work on scaling my business to being a fully employee ran business where I can take my hands off. And that's 10, 15, 20 years down the road. But in the next 5 to 10 years, I need to be really close to being able to take my hands off. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be still in the business, but I want to be able to create jobs and have a fun work environment with good efficiency and flow and purpose and productivity and just a great business model to employ people, to give good opportunity, and to ultimately make money, you know, to make more money than what I'm making now and to have a whole operation. So that's kind of the plan. We'll see what we're, you know, if that happens. Fingers crossed. I think it will. But, and I have some exciting things about this building that I'm into that are in the works, and that's, you know, exciting. So I have a lot of like opportunity and potential here in this building that I'm in, and with the setup that I already have, I just need to really hone in on making it, you know, a really successful business model. So anyway, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button if you like these videos. I appreciate it. And comment down below if you guys have any questions or comments. I will see you guys next week with another reselling related video. Have a great week until then. Bye.